Hi guys, welcome back to Fireside Chats. As always, I'm Corbin, and
I'm Colin.
Today we got a real good matchup. We have two pink blobs. One is Super Buu from the Dragon Ball universe. It scans all of his forms. So you got Buhan, you got Piccolo, and you got Buu-Tanks. And he's going to be rivaled up against him.
Good old Kirby from I'll just say this, Kirby, Nintendo's little puffball of destruction and mayhem. No matter if you like the games or not, Kirby is a massacring, genociding, unbelievable, horrible thing that smiles the entire time. But yeah, we got Kirby.
Gulps down anything in sight.
It's scary. But to the idea of between Kirby and Buu, what do you think the fight would go on like?
In terms of origin, like starting at their origins,
Yeah.
I know Super Buu was born from the dawn of existence for that universe, so he is evil incarnate. So ever since evil existed from the beginning of the universe, he has been there. Now, same goes similar for Kirby, I've heard.
Yeah, Kirby and all the Star Warriors were all, one by one they were born. And Kirby was one of the first, but when he was born, he didn't really wake up yet. He was born as one of the first Star Warrior, but did not wake up from his slumber until he reached planet Popstar when he crashed.
Okay.
So he existed since the dawn of time in that universe, but just didn't really do anything until he crash landed on Popstar. He is still technically classified as a baby.
He's a baby.
He's a baby still. Meta Knight in that universe isn't even a toddler yet.
I hadn't known that, actually. They're fighting kids.
They're kids are fighting monsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the Dragon Ball universe, Piccolo is like 4 or something when he's fighting Saiyan. So, I mean, it works.
It works. They both have lots of experiences in fighting other children and monsters.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But yeah, if you want to go dig even deeper into Kirby's lore, Kirby is pure. How do I put this? Like, he is pureness. He is pure. Like, he is the first Star Warrior to be made, and basically, he's all the good in the universe. While Meta Knight is like third or fourth.
Okay, so basically, it's kind of a good versus evil aspect on this.
Yes.
I kind of like that.
But yeah, with Kirby, the pink 8-inch pink ball of destruction, which we all understand, if we're gonna put Kirby up against Buu, obviously we're going to put him up like the size of how he is in Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that, where he stands up next to like all these other characters like Bayonetta, who's like 6 foot something.
Well, Buu can shrink and enlarge at will.
I don't know if he'd shrink the Kirby's size, but he might.
He could. He can also split himself into multiple entities if he needs.
Kirby's done that, but when he splits himself into other entities, they change colors.
Oh. Do they get different abilities? Or
No,
same?
it's just a different colored Kirby. And then at will, he can pull them all back in. And I think it was Kirby Star Warriors is where you could split into different Kirbys. There's also a power-up where he can just infinitely spawn himself.
Okay.
Which is insane in the fact of he could literally, it's infinite to the point where you could crash your game with the amount of Kirbys you could spawn. Which I really think they should have put a limit on there.
Well, I mean, it was a game at the time.
Yeah.
How often would Kirby use that ability?
Whenever he came up with, there was what would happen is there would be a character that would hold like this mirror, and you'd absorb him, you'd like inhale him in the mirror, and then Kirby would pop up with another Kirby, and then when you'd hit your button, like there was like the RT button, I think it was on the DS, it just keep spawning Kirbys. He'd stop, and then another one would pop out, and then just basically that's the only thing it did. It just basically made more Kirbys.
Okay.
They're,
So, what would you say Kirby's destructive power is looking like compared to someone like? Let's just go Super Buu for now before we go into any other things.
Kirby whacked an asteroid 99,999 light years away with a baseball bat.
Okay, that's not bad considering Dragon Ball power scaling. Okay.
That wasn't even a power up either. He also split a planet in half, unpowered, by just wham. Split the entire planet of Popstar right in half, which, if you guys watched Death Battle, they mentioned that planet Popstar, is roughly the same size as the planet Shiverstar, which is a post-apocalyptic Earth. So to crack a planet in half, just wham! He didn't even, first off, it cracked a metal bar into an anvil, onto a plank of wood, and into the world. He cracked, and these people were cheering as their planet was just cracked in half, and it was probably going to either collapse back into itself or slowly spread apart. If you want to go against Kirby's most, strongest ability, in his inhale copy ability type thing, is the I think it's Ultra Nova or Supernova Kirby, which his inhale literally becomes a black hole, which has the pull of it. It has absorbed beams from different gods, and if you just want to go pure Kirby by himself survived a dimension being destroyed.
Okay.
The fire did something, and I don't know what it did. It blew something up. This is probably the best the fire's ever been.
Oh, I certainly do agree to that.
That is the best I've ever seen the fire. I almost bought little fire things instead of the big one. You can buy a thing that has 18 of them in it for $6.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, no. Yeah. But back to the reason why this channel exists. How do you think Buu, what do you think Boo's biggest feat is in strength and durability?
So to give you a little bit of a power scale, right? Super Saiyan is 100 times multiplier from your base.
Mm-hmm.
Then Super Saiyan 2 is 2 times of that. Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times of that.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Buu, the weaker incarnation of Buu, was swinging around a dead Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even lowballed, you take Super Saiyan 2 Goku from the Cell Saga, stronger than Cell at that point, and Cell could nuke an entire solar system just because he thought about it. Now, if you add that amp to it, he's getting up to multi-galaxy level, almost up to Universal. Now that's just his Super Saiyan 3 that he showed off to Fat Buu.
Mm-hmm.
So scaling from that, you go to the Super Buu, just Super Buu, not beyond yet. This Super Buu has also been known to consume godly level entities such as the other Kais. That's how the other Kais are off, and all the gods are destroyed except the Supreme Kai, and then the Elder Kai. So he'll go in, he'll absorb them all, gain their power. So roughly, if he's going above Goku, he's at minimum multi-galaxy to Universal in terms of destructive ability in CH1.
I can agree with that. I've done research on Buu myself and found out some stuff about him and everything like that. And I can agree on that. Same thing with Kirby. Kirby's up here bashing gods around. I can't remember his name right now, but he's the little purple guy that grows the wings, and one of his attacks are he splits open and becomes a black hole.
Okay.
And Kirby can survive going in it. In the game, if you go in, if you aren't paying attention, you're not trying to run away, you go in it and it pops you back out. So Kirby survives not only going in. Granted, people are like, oh, but that could be a small black hole. A black hole is a black hole. Whatever it touches, it is ripping it apart atom by atom. So no matter if you had a black hole the size of a golf ball and you threw it up on a hill, it would not take long for that black hole to start destroying the Earth. Because a black hole, if you don't know, is when basically matter switches. When most matter exists to be at a singular point. When a black hole exists, that matter basically breaks the laws of physics and becomes this unknowing hole of destruction that we don't even know what's on the other side. So God only knows how destructive the black hole that Kirby gets sucked into is. He's also just outran a normal black hole in the midst of space, let alone riding on his warp star, which we found out could literally keep up against like Magalore, which are like going across like dimensions as they go, and Kirby's just keeping up with them. And Kirby's on the outside of that, mind you, so he has to survive the G-forces, which are already going to be hard enough, because imagine you flying a plane with no like top,
Yeah.
like, which already, if you're already in like a fighter jet, 15 to 20 G's can make you pass out if you're not ready for it. So imagine how much force is going on Kirby's entire body when he's going faster than light, fast enough to trace through dimensions, and he's just fine. He makes it on the other side, getting ready to eat whatever's on the other side of that world.
In terms of durability, I think Kirby could probably stack up to Super Buu himself.
Probably.
Just because with his pure durability at that aspect. Speaking for, we'll go up to Buu Piccolo first before we move to Buu Tanks. Buu Piccolo is when Majin Buu, technically Super Buu, absorbs Piccolo. Now, he also gains his regeneration and gains his power on top of that. So, it's said that Super Saiyan Gotenks could mop the floor with Fat Buu.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that Super Saiyan Gotenks must be stronger than a Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Yeah.
Which Buu has able to tank attacks from that. Which at low bulb, as we saw before, is multi-galaxy level of an attack coming towards him, that he would infinitely heal it. Now, if you add Namekian DNA on top of that, his healing factor is now doubled in terms of like a durability feat. Now, if we keep going later beyond into like Vegito, in my opinion, the strongest fusion,
Pretty much at this point.
he hits him with a big bang attack, he hits him with a Keyblade, he tries to erase him, and all of these attacks are not working, just because Vegeta was trying to stall for time to get inside of Buu to get everybody out. But this entire time he's wailing on Super Buu, at that point Buuhan, and Buuhan's not showing to really take any damage.
That's the thing with Kirby. Like, this is a very hard matchup for us to try to like change each other's minds on, or say who would win, due to the fact that both of these characters have never truly been able to show to take any damage. Like, if you give Kirby his stone ability, he could literally just slam and then just not move.
Yes.
And it is completely indestructible, no matter what. Like, he's never been knocked out of it. He's been crushed before under thousands of tons, and just absolutely taken no damage. And so this is more of a, how do I put this, a lovely discussion on if the two of them met. Because as much as we like this to be a versus, it would be probably an infinite battle. Because with Kirby, with his infinite dimension in his stomach, with the amount of different abilities that can sit in it, because in some Kirby games you can hold on to abilities, so, and then bring them out later. So in any, if he shoots a Ki Blast at Kirby's not only probably going to inhale it, but it will probably either give him Electric Kirby, or Plasma Kirby, or Energy Kirby. There are too many Kirby abilities. I know. I only read up on some, because all the other ones are like Ghost Kirby. He can haunt any item or any person. There's Penguin Kirby, who can throw ice blocks just like normal Ice Kirby. But they just had to be so special and make Penguin Kirby.
But do you think Kirby could theoretically just tank any blow dealt by Majin Buu? Like, especially Buuhan. Buuhan is at least 2 or 3 universes, maybe 4.
Well, with Kirby's just surviving a dimension being torn in half, and he was awake, he wasn't knocked out, he didn't black out, he just was like spinning until 2 fairies grabbed him. Because at that point, the reason the fairies grabbed him, there was nothing left. He was just floating in a big blue background that was just nothing anymore.
I would say Buuhan also stacks up to that. He did also try to collapse the dimension, and he's been in other dimensions for a dimensional break where they tear a realm and then shatter that same realm.
Yeah. You gotta think that has to do something to, like, where the Time Warriors have to be like, hey guys, look at this.
Technically, it's not messing with time.
Where'd that dimension go? It was right there.
But or you can go with like the hyperbolic time chamber, which is an infinite realm out of space and time. It very slows time. 4 days is like a year.
Yeah.
He blew a hole out of that just by screaming from Super Buu.
Yeah. So I'd say their durability, their strength, their speed. Why are these characters so similar? I don't like it.
I personally think that Buu is faster than Kirby.
In the general sense, yes, like in full speed. I think Kirby is a match for him with reaction speed. Because if Kirby can react to a lot of the things that are attacking him, like the different gods and stuff. It sounds like a little God of War over here.
Right?
The different gods and stuff that he's gone up against. And they're hitting him with things that are able to pass through. Like when the giant, when Magalore summoned in the giant planet-sized metal robot contraption thing that granted unlimited magic to whatever person found it, Kirby not only was able to dodge blasts from it, which are magic blasts, so God knows how fast they're moving. It's hard to get a good sense in the Kirby universe because a lot of these attacks are magic, so we don't know how fast they're moving. But Kirby has reacted to the black hole. We'll bring that back there. For you to be able to react and run away from a black hole is already a high reaction speed
You
because
have to move faster than the speed of
light, which not only light can't even escape it, so you have to move even faster
than light. Yes.
Yeah. Like, didn't we just say that? Didn't we literally just say that?
But I would say, like, we left the speed of light behind back in the Namek saga.
Oh, yeah.
We reached instantaneous speeds in the Cell saga.
I got
And then
it.
even further beyond that is the Buu.
I forgot. It's literally named as him piloting the his warp star. So for him to be able to pilot it, he would have to be able to react to the movement of the warp star. If he's traveling through dimensions with it, his reaction speed has to be high enough to be able to pilot it and stuff like that. But I'd say he has good reaction speed to match Buu's, but I don't think physical speed he could. I say he could react to Buu, but I don't think he could match Buu in pure speed. Unless you put him in Wheel Kirby, and then you get his ultimate ability from the newest game, and it literally does teleport you. So it's kind of like instant teleportation.
Instant transmission,
yeah,
yes.
Kind of. But what it does is, instead of just driving around, it flips up and then spins and then it pops around. I hated it because it was not a good power-up. It was only used for one level, just so you could pop the different, areas that were in this, weird purple goop.
Okay.
Yeah. So if he can instant transmission, technically, he kind of matches him in speed, but he has to spin first and then...
Yes and no, I'd say to that. For the instant transmission,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just because Frieza in the Tournament of Power faced a Yarjarat, who used instant transmission, and he's already known since Goku, so he can predict, and it's very easy to predict. Cell figured it out from seeing it once.
Oh, yeah, for Pete's sake, if I'm fighting someone and they disappear, I have a feeling they're going to appear somewhere around me.
What do you think of, battle IQ? Who do you think has more versatility in terms of, martial arts and weapons?
I have a feeling Kirby definitely holds the versatility due to the fact of his countless abilities, which one of them does include Fighter Kirby, who is apparently trained in a lot of martial arts, which I don't understand somewhere people got that he was trained in martial arts, because he just absorbs... When Kirby absorbs an enemy or something like that, not only that he gains the exact abilities they had. So if he is Fighter Kirby, he probably has a decent amount of only in Fighter Kirby has a decent amount of fighting experience. In Battle IQ, Kirby's a baby.
Yeah.
Someone attacks him, all he knows is to try to defend himself. He's eaten an entire tablecloth. He can't be that smart.
So I think we'd have to give this one
Buu.
to Buu, because he has been fighting for eons.
Yeah, and then you got Kirby, who crash landed on Popstar after God knows how long of just traveling space until he ran into it. And we also have to give Kirby some leeway because, again, he is a baby. So I have a feeling Kirby would be able to survive any hit he did, because Kirby has also survived, like, basically ultimate. I don't know how. What's the word, like, when you're vaporized, basically? Like, basically what they do with Hakais.
Erase them.
Yeah. Kirby has survived everything being erased in a dimension. And the one, it's like a drawn, it's like the Kirby, something about colors. Where this lady takes all the colors out of the world to basically become the most powerful coloring witch, I guess. I don't know really what you're going to get power out of taking the color out of the world, but I don't know. But he was able to survive everything being erased around him. So pretty much he can survive erasing attacks. And that's why it's so hard to do this, because Kirby has been able to survive being erased. Buu has been able to survive being erased. Buu has survived a galaxy exploding. Kirby's survived a galaxy exploding. Buu has survived a universe collapsing. Kirby survived a universe collapsing. They both are just so unbelievably similar.
But I feel like Kirby is here in terms of destructive ability, and Buhan's up here in terms of the amount of just pure and raw damage he can put out.
I guess, but if you want to go like that with like Kirby's crash ability, and the new one with time crash, he can stop time, which Buu has already in that universe, in the Dragon Ball universe. All you really have to do is just be faster than time.
Yeah.
And then you can,
or push yourself forward enough to push through time.
Yeah, like, or if you have a higher power level within the person that's outputting the time stopping power, you can just be like, yeah, nah, I ain't feeling this.
Yeah,
chief.
It doesn't work.
I ain't feeling this, chief. You know, I like to move now. But like Kirby's crash ability, literally is, if you use it in boss battles, they won't let you use it in the little arenas after you beat the game. You can't use the crash ability, because it's a one-time deal, and it will instantly kill whatever boss is in it. The only ones it won't kill instantly are like the final bosses from like the actual game, like where you fight at the end. Or so it's like, oh, you fight all these little mini bosses.
So how does it kill them?
It vaporizes them.
Okay.
It basically, what it does is it makes the area so unbelievably, like, atomically breaky downy. It breaks, from what it says in the game for the description, it breaks down the atoms of whatever's in the area, which cause the small explosions when the characters die, like when the enemies explode. What happens is it apparently just tears through their atoms. So I could see Kirby being able to Kirby, you can only use it once, and then you have to get another power up for it. It's just because if you did that throughout the game, what fun would that be? But I say he could probably do a decent amount of damage to Buu, vaporize like maybe half of them or something like that. But Boo's obviously going to come back, and Kirby could freeze him with Ice Kirby, because I don't think Buu has ever shown resistance to ice attacks, because that's not really too big of a thing in Dragon Ball.
Well, we can get into that. So Majin Buu has access to magic.
Oh, okay. Well, Kirby basically the same way.
Yeah, so he can turn things into candy, he can manipulate his form, he can manipulate his surroundings as he sees fits, teleport people, location, places. So he could, with his antenna, he could just use his magic and the ice not be there.
Kirby's walked on the sun before. There's a level to where you go to the sun in a rocket, and you're just fucking wandering the sun. I've watched too much Kirby things in the past week, and it hurts my head. I don't know if that's the smoke or the amount of brain capacity I just took up to put the amount of info on Kirby.
I feel like Kirby, even though he's been able to stand on the sun, I feel like Majin Buu is more powerful than him.
Oh, probably in the idea of raw power.
So then, can Kirby combine his abilities at all, or is
Yes.
there a time limit?
No. And yes and no. There's no time limit, and Kirby has been shown to mix abilities. In the game, it was like a mecha, like Kirby something mecha, who basically has this mech suit that he absorbs in the last part of the game, and in the mech suit itself, he could mix power-ups to become like, if you took two electric ones, it'd become a stronger. Like if you took a fire and electric, it would mix them together, water and same everything, basically. And at the end, he's fighting a thing which breaks his mech. It's just giant mecha, like, I don't know. I didn't read the names of them. I just know, because that was like one of my favorite Kirby games. Because I remember I had the demo of it on my 3DS before I even bought it. And he was able to he sucks it in at the end, like inhales it, he becomes like his little like Kirby, looks like all metallic now, and he could combine, like it was weird. Like you would have to like, he'd have the two abilities, and it would like spawn the two things in, and then you'd inhale them, and then half Kirby would cut, like one side of it would look like on fire, and the other side would be shocking. So when he would do like the little shock thing, it would shoot flames out while also shooting the little electric sparks and stuff. So if you go off of that logic, he could also mix the Crash Kirby with Ultra Nova Kirby or Supernova Kirby or whatever it's called. I don't know what would happen. Would it just basically inhale everything and just blow up the black hole or something?
I wonder if that would work on Super Buu specifically.
Because you gotta think, has Super Buu ever been shown to, like, I understand he can't be Hakai, because he's a primordial being. He can't be destroyed, because if you were to do that, you'd upset the universal balance. And
he did have everything, like vaporized during Kid Buu, but Kid Buu is less strong than
so
Super
unbelievably
Buu.
less strong. Yeah, for Pete's sakes, Kid Buu technically can't even really beat Fat Buu. He can, but Fat Buu really just kind of just kept getting angrier.
I would put Kid Buu above Fat Buu just because he can dwell on more of his primordial powers.
Yeah.
Like evil incarnate within him. But even that Buu took a hit from the Spirit Bomb, which erases all evil from the entire universe. Like, the entire universe helped him.
Yeah.
And Kid Buu was still pushing that back.
Yeah, but he pushed it back for a little bit, and then it just kind of started erasing him.
Yeah.
Because people were like, why didn't he use the instant transmission? Because guess what, buddy? When a giant ball of energy is right in front of your face, I don't think you got any energy to spare to try to instant transmission away from that.
And at that point, he didn't have the intelligence of Super Buu or Buuhan anymore.
Yeah.
With each fighter he absorbed, he got their martial arts with him and their abilities.
Yeah. So, like I said, as nice as this like little idea of between the two, this is actually probably the first ever episode where we won't
Come to a conclusion.
come to a conclusion. Now, there's a new Kirby game coming out. There is a new Kirby game coming out. And it's supposed to be really cool. It's supposed to be open world, which I don't know why they're doing that with so many video games. They did it with Super Mario Odyssey. They did it with the new Sonic game. Now they're doing it with a Kirby game. And there might be new abilities and stuff like that could put Boo on the ropes. But as of right now, there is literally not been shown for either of these characters to even take a slash of damage. Kirby has never been even shown to bleed. Boo has never been shown to bleed.
Yes and no in that respect, because I mean he does take damage.
He just has.
And he acts hurt, but he almost instantly heals that because of his healing factor.
Yeah. So
in order to take him down, you need something that just erases everything off of him, all at once.
So technically, if Kirby got close enough, and like this is a technicality because this only gives where Kirby is in a specific situation, and Boo's not currently paying attention. If Kirby were to grab him or something like that, and then use the Crash ability, it would probably vaporize all that stuff. Because as strong as he is, if you break apart atoms, it's not gonna come back as fast as you think. Because as long as now, if he's standing next to Kirby and Kirby does the thing where the blast will go past him, then yeah, he could probably only get half of them vaporized, or if he could react to it. But if you got Kirby right up, like holding Boo and blowing up in Crash Ability, he could vaporize Boo and end the fight. But that is such an unbelievable certain circumstance.
Well, my stand on that would be Key Beams in Dragon Ball do sort of the same thing.
Yeah. So, that's what I mean. Like, you'd have to be in such a certain circumstance for that to happen. Like, you gotta understand, if these two characters met, Boo is probably gonna get just annoyed by the end of the fight that he can't kill Kirby.
Well, so say Kirby gets close to Boo and does any sort of real damage to him. When he regenerates, mind you, he has Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks in him and Ultimate Gohan in him. Not including Piccolo and everybody else on the Earth. But just those two people right there, plus Piccolo. The Zenkai off of that would be insane.
Can you imagine if he's just like, hey guys, we're getting free. What the heck? Why am I falling apart? No! Wait, hold on. Gone. It's just... I don't know.
think any of them could escape by the time that if it would actually disintegrate Boo,
the blast.
they would be scattering trying to get out of there.
It would be so great. Hey guys, look, a giant hole. What's so bright outside?
Ultimate Gohan, maybe be able to get away.
That's the thing. Like, we all know in the Dragon Ball universe, like atomic attacks do matter. Like, I'm not saying like atomic nukes. I'm saying like atomic attacks, like breaking apart atoms, does work. Because that's borderline what a Hakai does.
Yes.
It erases you
From the timeline and everywhere in existence.
Yeah, for you to do that, you have to just completely destroy the matter, which automatically breaks the laws of physics, because matter cannot be created nor destroyed as it always existed, and cannot not exist. So, that's the thing with this battle. Like, it is insane how, like, much these characters are so close together in durability and strength and all this different stuff. And, sorry, I'm trying to stall for time because I can't remember who's next.
You're good. Ultimately, it is up to you guys, the audience, for yourselves to see if this is something that it would either go to Super Buu or go to Kirby, depending on which abilities they have, depending on which abilities Kirby is using at the moment. We both stand on different sides of this argument. Because it really is an interesting argument, just because these two beings, when they came into creation, were both primordial beings, the first beings in their universes. One was evil incarnate, one was good of everything. So it's kind of a yin and yang to this situation. They both can utilize magic, move faster than the speed of light, they both can absorb and then replicate people's abilities. So ultimately it's up to you guys. I think it would be close, but Super Buu would win. Colin thinks here that it would be close, but Kirby would win. But ultimately, it's up.
I don't know what's next. I can't remember. Don't do this to me. Plane, go away. You're ruining our sound quality.
We're gonna have to cut them.
We're gonna have to cut, and I don't want to, because then I can't remember, and I don't want to leave this like this. Just give me a second, guys. I got this. This is episode number 5. Who's episode number 6? I believe it's the one and only. No? I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
I think it's SpongeBob.
It might be.
SpongeBob versus Popeye.
No.
No?
It's SpongeBob versus Gumball Watterson.
I believe so.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Fireside Chats, where Colin may or may not get back up from falling onto the ground. Next time, Gumball Watterson versus
the person who's everyone's always prepared, SpongeBob himself, the SquarePants menace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.